Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koro Dase Trinapekayati Dina.
Okay. Vandeham Shiguru Shiyata Parakamalam Shigurum Vaishnavam Scha Shirupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parejana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shirana Krishna Baran Sahagana Lalita Shivishkam Vitam Scha Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shlakaya Chakshurunnitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurava Bhishtam Supurakam Guruvanarasisham Bhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govindamidam Ujwalam Bharatanam Bhaktyamidam Sundaram Vande Vishwa Guruncha Divyat Bhagavad Premnavi Vijaya Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Balakachelanchitam Santrananda Puram Sadekabaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vandetam Shivaram Manekasharanam Nyashishvara Shiraram Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripasindubhyabhya Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahaparanyaya Krishna Prema Pranayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurata Vishay Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Prabhupada. This is Madhya Lila, chapter 21, the opulence and sweetness of Krishna. This is a continuation of the conversation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami, which is happening in Varanasi, or in Benares. So, this chapter is about Sambandha, about the relationship with Krishna, opulence and sweetness of Krishna. And then the next chapter is process of devotional service. It's about Abhideya. And then chapter after that is about the goal of life, love of Godhead, which is prayojana. So these are considered the three subject matters of the Vedas, that relationship with the Lord, process of serving the Lord, and the goal of Krishna prema, which is the goal of life. Sambandha, Abhideya, and prayojana. So I'll start with text 54. Krishna is the supreme, 18 Damera Hoy, Krishna Ishwar, Goloka Paravyama, Prakritirapar. Krishna is the supreme proprietor of all Dhamas, including Goloka Dham, Vaikuntha Dham, and Devi Dham. Paravyama and Goloka Dham are beyond Devi Dham, this material world. So we're hearing that of all these places, Goloka Dham, Vaikuntha Dham, and Devi Dham, which is the material world. Actually, Krishna is he is the proprietor of all these places. They're all, Krishna is not separated from his energy. He's the proprietor of everything. Chidchakti Vibhuti Dham, Tripada Aishwaryanam, Mayika Vibhuti, Ekpada Avidan. The spiritual world is considered to be 3/4 of the energy and opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas this material world is only 1/4 of that energy. That is our understanding. Haridam, Paravyam, and Goloka Vrindavan are beyond the material cosmic manifestation. They're celebrated as 3/4 of the Lord's energy. The material world, conducted by the Supreme Lord's external energy, is called Devi Dham, and is a manifestation of 1/4 of his energy. So actually, the spiritual world constitutes 3/4 parts of the energy of the Lord. In this material world, Ekpada is only 1/4 is only a small part of the Lord's energy. Tripad vibhutir dhamatva tripad bhutam itatparam vibhutir maika sarva prokta paratmika yada. Because it consists of 3/4 of the Lord's energy, the spiritual world is called Tripad Bhuta. Being a manifestation of 1/4 of the Lord's energy, the material world is called Ekpada. I had heard once that, they say Ekpada, like one leg, they say ghost, or sometimes called Ekpada. That's something else, I guess. Tripad vibhukti Krishna bhaktya gochar Ekpada vibhuti arjuna vistar. The 3/4 parts of the Lord's energy is beyond our speaking power. Let us therefore hear elaborately about the remaining 1/4 of his energy. Mahaprabhu says it's beyond our power to speak about the spiritual world, so now I'll speak about that 1/4 energy of the Lord, which is called Devi Dham, which Devi means Durga's Dham, and that's the material world. Ananda Brahmander Jata Brahmarudragan Chiralokapala Shabdeta Haraganan. Actually, it is very difficult to ascertain the number of universes. Every universe has its separate Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, who are known as permanent governors. Therefore, there is also no counting of them. And so it's nice. Today is the installation day of Sadashiva Gangadhar. I believe here we're hearing that there are so many innumerable universes in there, innumerable Lord Brahmas and Lord Shivas, you can't even count them. So, hoy estamos Ananta Brahmander Jata Brahmarudagan Chiralokapala Shabdetahara Ganan. Tripada Vibhuti Krishna Vakya Tochar Ekpara Vibhuti Arjunaha Vishnar Ananta Brahmander Jata Brahmarudragan Chiralok Palashabditahara Ganan Ekdina Dwarakate Krishna Dekivare Brahma Aila Dwarapala Janaila Krishnare. Once when Krishna was ruling Dwarka, Lord Brahma came to see him, and the doorman immediately informed Lord Krishna of Brahma's arrival. Once when Krishna was ruling Dwarka, Lord Brahma came to see him, and the doorman immediately informed Lord Krishna of Brahma's arrival. Krishna Kohen Kom Brahma Kina Matar Dwaryashi Brahmare Puche Arvar. When Krishna was so informed, he immediately asked the doorman, which Brahma? What is his name? The doorman therefore returned and questioned Lord Brahma. And Brahma came. Yes, I'm Lord Brahma. I'm Senor Brahma. Very important. No, will you please tell Krishna I've arrived. Then the doorman came back. Krishna wants to know which Brahma. What's your name? What do you mean, what's my name? How many persons do you know with 4 heads? Yeah? Well, we don't know yet. He's thinking only one person in this universe has 4 heads. And I'm that Lord Brahma.
When Jiva appears in the material world,
I'm not going to answer any Shiva questions. I'm in the middle of this pastime. No Shiva questions. I'm in the middle right now of this pastime of Lord Brahma. Then after that, when we hear about the Shivas also, then we can take the Shiva questions. But we don't want to interrupt the pastime. All right? And we'll get to the Shiva question in a couple of minutes. Okay. All right, what's the Shiva question?
Shiva. No, I wanted to ask, when Jiva appears in the material world, it appears as Brahma, or?
Sometimes, appears as Brahma. That's what we hear. Appears as Brahma. But that point is not so major. You know, yeah, the first appearance is going to be as Lord Brahma. Jiva's first time. Or something like that. That I've heard, but it's not something I've heard and talked about so much. Well, here, the Jiva becomes Lord Brahma. But sometimes, even when there's no qualified Lord Brahmas, then Krishna takes the part himself. Scarcely una escasez de Brahmas. No man informed him. When Krishna was so informed, Krishna kohen kom Brahma ki nam tahar, dwarayashe brahmare puche arvar. When Krishna was so informed, he immediately asked the doorman, which Brahma, what is his name? The doorman therefore returned and questioned Lord Brahma. Okay. Vishmita hoya Brahma darike kohila kahagiya sanaka pita chaturmukha aila. When the doorman asked which Brahma, Lord Brahma was surprised. He told the doorman, please go inform Lord Krishna that I am the four-headed Brahma who is the father of the four Kumaras. You can see he's very taken aback, Lord Brahma, when he says, what? I'm that four-headed Brahma. Krishna janaha dware brahmare loya gela krishnera charane brahma dandavat koila. The doorman then informed Lord Krishna of Lord Brahma's description, and Lord Krishna gave him permission to enter. The doorman escorted Lord Brahma in, and as soon as Brahma saw Lord Krishna, he offered obeisances at his lotus feet. Krishna manya puja kori tare prashna koila kilage tomari agaman hoila. After being worshipped by Lord Brahma, Lord Krishna also honored him with suitable words. Then Lord Krishna asked him, why have you come here? Brahma kohe tahapache koriba nivedan eksam shayamani hoy koraha chidan. Being questioned, Lord Brahma immediately replied, I shall later tell you why I have come. First of all, there is a doubt in my mind which I wish you would kindly dissipate. So you see, he's so taken aback when Krishna says, why have you come here? He says, I'll tell you in a minute, but first I have something on my mind I want to clarify. Why do you inquire which Brahma had come to see you? What is the purpose of such an inquiry? Is there any other Brahma besides me within this universe? So, you can see, to me, even the question almost seems impertinent when he's saying, oh, what do you mean? Why? What is the point of this question? He says, yeah, what is the purpose of such an inquiry? What's the point of this question, Is there any other Brahma besides me within this universe? This universe is very big. How many people do you see with four heads? I'm Brahma. Why is the question? It's a little egotistical, almost, the question. Shuniya se Krishna tabe korilena jane asankhya Brahma raganaya tantakane. Upon hearing this, Sri Krishna smiled and immediately meditated. Unlimited Brahmas arrived instantly. Dashabi Shata Sahasra Yukta Laka Badan Kotyar Buddha Mukha Karo Nanchayganan. These Brahmas had different numbers of heads. Some had 10 heads, some had 20, some 100, some 1,000, some 10,000, some 100,000, some 10 million, and others 100 million heads. No one could count the number of faces they had. It's very difficult. Somebody had 10 million heads, some Brahma. Must be a very huge Brahma, a very big Brahma with 10 million. 10 million heads. That means his universe is super big, okay? Rudraganaila Laka Kotibara, Indraganaila Laka Kotinaya. There also arrived many Shivas with various heads numbering 100,000 and 10 million. Many Indras also arrived, and they had hundreds of thousands of eyes all over their bodies.
It's inconceivable, no?
Well, because Indra he was cursed to have eyes all over his body because he was very lusty once. But some of these Indras have millions of eyes on their bodies.
If we say head, the head means some place which contains eyes and brain.
Yeah, that's a head.
Yeah, but when they talk about
We're not talking about heads of beer. We're talking about heads with eyes and mouth.
Yeah, and do they put the same meaning as we do? Because like...
Yes, of course. A head is a head.
100,000 heads in
Yeah.
your body.
Yeah.
1 million.
You know, the thing is that Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that logic and argument is not the that's not the way of understanding things. I mean, they help, but the way of understanding things is not just by your logic. How can anybody have 10 million heads? What kind of head would it be? Would it be a fly head or a human head? No, it's a head. And it's like,
It's inconceivable.
Did you ever hear of, I think maybe this is not correct quote, but there's a quote, it's a mundane quote, but the quote is, analysis is paralysis. If you analyze everything, you'll become paralyzed. I just hear it, Not to scratch your head and wonder what's happening here. 10 million heads, how is that possible? That's impossible. No, it's not impossible. It's just a description. It's a story. You can hear what's happening. Okay. No one could count and is that correct or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Deki Chaturmukha Brahma Fafara Hoila Hastigana Madhya Shashaka Rohila. When the forehead, you have to remember, this is Krishna. Krishna is the Lord. He can do anything. It's not very difficult for him to bring in Brahmas with 10 million heads. He's the Lord. He can, he can create this. He can create this illusion. He can do anything. He's the supreme hypnotist. If he just says, let there be this, there will be that. Including you. He can just say, let there be, and this will exist. That's the supreme power of the Lord. But, people will say, oh, this is mythology. This is just mythology. Mythology is your aunt. I don't care. You will say, mythology. No, mythology is that you are the son of your mother. That is mythology. You don't know. You don't know who is your mother. That's your mythology. Oh, but we can test the DNA. Well, you test the DNA of Lord Brahma. Okay. Deki Chaturmukha Brahma Fafara Hoila Hastigana Madhyachena Shashaka Rohila. When the forehead of Brahma of this universe saw all these opulences of Krishna, he became very bewildered and considered himself a rabbit among many elephants. That is the point. This Brahma, he's thinking, I'm like a little rabbit, and there are all these big elephants around me. He was thinking before, he's so important. Oh, what do you mean? Is there any other Lord Brahmas? And then he sees these immense Lord Brahmas. And he's like thinking, I'm like a little rabbit, and all around me is huge elephants. That's the point. This is the point of our ego, We have so much, we have ego, and I'm thinking I'm so important, but I'm not, you know, sometime one person said to, you know, said to Prabhupada, I am the most fallen, and Prabhupada answered him, you're not the most anything. They're thinking I'm the most, you know, I'm the most fallen. Come on. There are people that are far excel you in fallenness, you know. You go out in the material world, just walk around for an hour, you'll find some really people who far excel you in fallenness. You cannot say you're the most fallen. There are people out there that make you look like a very saintly person. You cannot say that you're the most fallen. You're not the most anything. Nobody can say that. So this Brahma, he thought, I'm just like a rabbit among elephants. Actually, we hear from Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj. This is the second bewilderment of Lord Brahma. The first bewilderment was when he stole the cowherd boys and calves. And then he became bewildered. And now he comes to Dwarka again, second time. And Brahma, he's the Acharya, Guru of our own Sampradaya. We are the Brahma Madhvas, Gaudiya Sampradaya. Brahma, Tene Brahma Rida Ya Are Kavaye. Everything begins with Lord Brahma. He's the Guru of our Sampradaya, and twice he's in illusion. But anybody can be an illusion. Even Krishna himself becomes illusion. Just seeing his reflection in a mirror or a pillar, he becomes illusion. You know, so being illusion is not, you know, such a big disqualification, but Brahma twice was illusion. Asisa Brahma Krishna Parapita Ge Dhanavat Parapite Lage. All the Brahmas who came to see Krishna offered their respects at his lotus feet, and when they did this, their helmets touched his lotus feet. Krishna Rachintya Shakti Lakite Hinanare Jat Brahma Tatamurti Ekayi Sharire. No one can estimate the inconceivable potency of Krishna. All the Brahmas who were there were resting in the one body of Krishna. Everything coming from Krishna. Krishna could create this whole illusion. He can create this whole illusion just immediately, just by suggesting, okay, Brahma, here's the answer to your question. Black. A whole illusion created. Even in this material world, we see people who can create an illusion that are very powerful. They can create an illusion. They can make you, you know, see things very magical, defy your logic, you know, you cannot understand. Like one time I was walking in Calcutta, and I didn't even know what I saw. There was some magician there. I just came around the corner. I couldn't tell what I was seeing. All of a sudden there was water coming from his mouth and a snake. What is that? Parapita mukutagra sangate ute dhwani parapite stute kore mukuta henajani. When all the helmets struck together at Krishna's lotus feet, there was a tumultuous sound. It appeared that the helmets themselves were offering prayers unto Krishna's lotus feet. Jodahate Brahma Rudradi Korayeshtavan Bora Kripa Korila Prabhu Dekaila Charan, with folded heads, with folded hands. All the Brahmas and Shiva began to offer prayers unto Lord Krishna, saying, "O Lord, you have shown me a great favor. I have been able to see your lotus feet." Yes, this is the real thing. You show me great favor. Now I can see your lotus feet, my dear Lord Krishna. Bhagyamore Bulaila Dasha Adhikari. Bhagyamore Bulaila Dasha Angi Kori. Kon Agya Hoitaha Kore Shire Dori. All of them then said, "It is my great fortune, Lord, that you have called me, thinking of me as your servant. Now let me know what your order is so that I may carry it on my heads. So, then, this is, in this case, this is the attitude of all the Brahmas. The other Brahma was like, what do you mean? Who, what Krishna, what Brahma, who, why? These Brahmas are all saying properly. It is my great fortune, Lord, you have called me, thinking of me as your servant. Now let me know what your order is so that I may carry it on my heads. Okay. Krishna kohe Thomas Saba, tekite chito hoila, tahalage ektai Saba bolaila. Lord Krishna replied, since I wanted to see all of you together, I have called all of you here. They're not necessarily seeing each other, but he says, since I wanted to see you, I've actually seen. Since I wanted to see all of you together, I've called all of you here. Okay. '76. Suke hao sabe kichu nahi doitya boy. Tarako he tomara prasade sarvatra enjoy. All of you should be happy. Is there any fear from the demons? They replied, no, by your mercy we are victorious everywhere. Samprati prativite jeva hoya chilabar avatirna hoyataha korila samhar. Whatever burden was upon the earth you have taken away by descending on that planet. Dwarakari vibhuti thara eta brahman amara e brahmande Krishna sabara hoila gyan. This is the proof of Dwarka's opulence. All the Brahmas thought Krishna is now staying in my jurisdiction. Krishna saha Dwaraka vaibhava anubhava hoila ekatra milane keho kahuna dekila. Thus the opulence of Dwarka was perceived by each and every one of them. Although they were all assembled together, no one could see anyone but himself. Krishna's really created a nice illusion here. Tabe Krishna sarva brahma gane vidai dila dandavad hoya sabe nija gare gela. Lord Krishna then bade farewell to all the Brahmas there, and after offering their obeisances, they all returned to their respective homes. Deke Chaturmukha Brahma Hoila Chamatkar Krishna Charanayashe Koila Namaskar. After offering all their opulences, after observing all these opulences, the four-headed Brahma of this universe was astonished. He again came before the lotus feet of Krishna and offered him obeisances. Brahma bole purve ame, kinis joy korilun, tara udaharana ame, eta tekilun. Brahma then said, whatever I formally decide about my knowledge, I have just now had personally verified. Janata eva janantu kimbai bahukya name prabhu manaso vapusho vacho vaibhabam tavagochara. There are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think in that way. As far as I'm concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. Oh my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they are all beyond the reach of my mind, body, and words. Real point. Brahma said this before, and now he's repeating this. He said that before when the calves and cowherd boys were replaced by Krishna. Came to them. Krishna kohe el Brahmanda panchashat koti yojan ati kudra tate tomar chari vadan. Krishna said, your particular universe extends 4 billion miles. Therefore, it is the smallest of all the universes. Consequently, you have only 4 heads. Of course, here, There's a translation of the word yojanas. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one of the great astrologers of his time, gives information for Siddhanta Shiromani, that this universe measures, I can't say what the number is, 18,712,060,200,000,000 times 8 miles. This is their circumference of this universe. According to some, this is only half the circumference. Okay, anyway. Kom Brahmanda Shatakote, Kom Brahmanda Shatakoti, Kom Lakakoti, Kom Niyukta Koti, Kom Koti Koti. Some of the universes are 1 billion yojans, some 1 trillion, some 10 trillion, and some 100 trillion yojans. Thus they are almost unlimited in area. Brahmanda Nurupa Brahmara Sharira Vadan Erupe Palyani Brahmaderagan. So I think I'll finish this tomorrow, but you get the idea of what was happening in Dwarka. Tomorrow we'll continue it. It's getting a little late, but interesting what Brahma's perceiving. Okay, now a nice incident.
Yeah.
Very from Krishna, giving some allusion to Lord Brahma.
You can use the line.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namah.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namah.
Jadavaya Namah Ravaya Keshavaya Namah.
Jadavaya
Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Janardan Maharaj ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Pavan Tatara Sadasi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Pavan Tatara Sadasi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Rupanuga Guru Marga ki jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Madhya Raghunath Shri Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Premsika Hosh Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Navani Dham ki jai. Shri Mayapur ki jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Navadhu ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. West London Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. Jagna Devi ki jai. Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Vrindavanam ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shamguna Radhakunda Kaladi Manju ki jai. Samavita Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Shri Sadashiva Gangadhar temple inauguration and installation ki jai.